Now, the simplest things in life, they can become a real struggle when you're hampered with neck and back pain. Patients can go through an array of so-called treatment options, but those only act as a Band-Aid, sometimes make things worse. That's why so many turn to Dr. Miller at Total Health Chiropractic for his non-surgical, non-invasive treatment.
Day in and day out, are you dealing with chronic neck and back pain, and you've turned for solutions only to be failed by recommendations of injections, maybe even surgery, medicine daily? It's a story that Dr. Miller here at Total Health Chiropractic has definitely heard, something that Dave here has gone through himself. So we're going to go ahead and expand on that during our conversation today, and what you've heard and how you've been able to help people.
You know, Leanne, it's tough enough dealing with back or neck pain, and the options generally aren't that great as far as people are concerned, because they're many times very invasive. And we've said before, most of those treatments revolve around symptom relief. They're not really fixing the cause of that pain. But on top of that, it's just a lot of frustration and stress trying to get answers, trying to get solutions. You know, the time it takes to get into a doctor to get checked, and then, you know, you think you may have a solution there and you leave empty-handed, where they refer you to somebody else, and now it's a couple more months till you can get in, and then they may have a treatment option ready that they would suggest, but you have to wait to get in there, and you're driving all over town, and you know, it just takes forever, and it's incredibly stressful, and it just makes it for a tough situation, people struggling with chronic neck or back pain.
Mm-hmm. And as I said, these things that people are sometimes being recommended, maybe it's a temporary situation, but then they're right back to square one again.
That's true, and you know, a lot of times they start with oral medications, and there's a lot of options there, from muscle relaxants to painkillers, anti-inflammatories. There's nerve drugs, but those all have side effects as well. And you know, many times if that's not getting the results they're looking for, they may go to injections at a pain clinic. You know, and on top of that, that's just chemically reducing inflammation. Yeah. It doesn't last forever. That's why you have to keep going back repeatedly, and many times the problem continuously gets worse as you're going through these treatments, just trying to cope with the pain. And as you said, ultimately it's oftentimes neck or back surgery that they're facing, and you know, there's obviously some pretty big side effects or, you know, concerns going with those type of surgeries. So, you know, it's just something that people, when I meet with them, they're looking for answers. They want an actual solution. Really work on fixing the problem, not just continuously masking the pain. And you know, our treatments are non-invasive, and you know, there really aren't those side effects you have to worry about with the drugs, shots, or surgeries.
Right, and I see you shaking your head over here. Let's talk about your story. Thanks so much for sharing it with everybody, but let's take it back to where you were at in your life before you came here to Total Health.
My pain started roughly 2.5, 3 years ago, and we weren't sure what it was, so we went through a couple of MRIs and looking if there's an organ problem, or we went through a couple of x-rays. We finally, that all looked okay on the organ, so we finally narrowed it down to, I've got a nerve problem. And at that point, my doctor sent me to a pain clinic, and they put me out and pumped me full of steroids, and it didn't help. And it actually, the pain got worse, not maybe because of the steroids, but the pain just simply kept getting worse. So then I went back, and he sent me to a real nerve specialist here in Grand Rapids, and they poked me and prescribed me, and learned a little bit about gabapentin that they prescribed, and I didn't like that, and I didn't like taking the 800 milligram ibuprofen, so I just happened to be watching TV show like this, and I actually called that day because it was getting worse. None of this, you know, I was getting prescribed, you know, some pretty tough drugs, but nothing was getting better. So I called actually before the show was over, and I was actually getting a consultation the next day. And from that point on, it took, within the first 3 weeks, you know, we looked at the x-rays, and we narrowed it down to a problem between L4 and L5. He showed me, it was very clear. And he thought that I would be a perfect candidate for what he does here. And I'm telling you, within 3 weeks, that pain was all but gone. And you know, I still have a little bit of tingling left, but even that's getting better. But the pain's gone, and the pain was absolutely excruciating and I lived with it for 2.5, 3 years. And I was just thrilled with it. I'll be able to get back to the gym and continue on life as normal. I literally had to walk bent to the side a lot because the pain was so tough.
Oh my goodness. So let's talk about those x-rays. He said you were able to pinpoint where that problem was, and within 3 weeks he's saying he felt so much better.
We were, and we looked at Dave's MRI, and on the screen you're probably looking at that MRI, but if you look down the center, there's a white strip, and that's his spinal cord and his nerves. Mm-hmm. The red arrows you see are pointing at his bulging discs in his lower back, Leanne. Those are supposed to be flat, and you can obviously see they're pushing out towards the right, towards those arrows. That was what was causing the pain, not just in his back, but down his leg and his foot. And because that was the problem, I confirmed he was a great candidate for our DRX therapy program. Yeah. And I set him up a program start to finish, and he took me up on the offer and got started right away. And as he said, he started feeling better pretty quickly.
Yeah. So you were able to stretch him out, hydrate, all that good stuff that DRX does.
Yeah, and it's actually regenerating those injured discs. So those bulges are retracting back in off those nerves. Yeah. And that's why Dave's going to be able to live normal again, go to the gym, because we didn't just try to mask it, we fixed the cause of that pain, and he has his whole life ahead of him to live.
Absolutely.
Pretty powerful testimony there. Total Health Chiropractic has a special for our Morning Mix viewers. For just $49, new patients will get a neck and back pain consultation, and there's a bonus with that $49. The first 5 callers also get a free hydro massage. All you need to do is call 828-0861. And if those phone lines are busy, just keep calling. Once again, 616-828-0861.